Happy Wednesday. I am back in the sewing room. I am going to be filming a couple of proper videos today, one of which is going to be the Savannah August fabric haul and sewing plans video. I'm kind of realizing that you guys have seen this fabric will have seen this fabric 3 times in that video now, so I hope you're not getting bored of it. I really wanted to film like the little thing that I did on Monday, which was kind of go through all the different bits and pieces and kind of pair them together and have a look at them together, because that was the first time that I got to see everything together myself, which I kind of realize is basically the fabric haul that I'm going to be filming properly in a minute. But I'm going to, like, then I didn't kind of discuss really in-depth plans for it and patterns and stuff like that. I started off doing that and then realized that I was wanting to film this other video, so I kind of just basically what I'm trying to say is I hope you guys don't get too bored of seeing the same fabrics over and over and over again, because I think the videos are slightly different. I mean, the first one was obviously a giant fabric haul for all of us, and then the second one was me putting everything together, and then the next one is going to be how my final thoughts and what I'm going to do with all these things. Yeah, I also finished the 6130 red dress with the kind of like square, organic square print at the top. I did try it on, and I don't know if I'm going to include that footage or not now, because I hadn't sewn the lining waist seam to the outer waist seam, so there was a little bit of wrinkling there, and I'm not sure how flattering it is. So the dress is big enough. There's definitely room in there. I just think that the skirt is fitted over the top of the hips and then flares out from there, and at the moment with my current shape I'm not sure how flattering that is. Flattering is such an awful word, isn't it? Because it doesn't matter if something's flattering or not if you feel comfortable in it. I don't feel comfortable in it. I don't think it skims the places that I want it to. I think it clings in places that highlight areas that I'm not happy with. So I will show you what it looks like. And I do like the bodice. I do like the bodice, and I do like the skirt. The skirt is from the Vogue 9077. I think it's the 77. The 44 is the cap, isn't it? I'm looking at it. It's over there. I like it in principle. I just think the other thing as well is I'm making a lot more things with solid prints skirt wise, and the floatier viscoses that I'm using are not as forgiving as the loud prints that I like. The loud prints distract the eye, and the solids kind of highlight in my eyes. Whilst I really love the idea of colour blocking, and I'm really happy with the dresses that I've made three colour blocked dresses now, and it's a great use of tiny scraps that I have left over, and I want to love these things. I don't know, I feel more comfortable in all over print. I mean, I'm wearing my 8577 again. I know some of you think this drowns me, some of you love this. I love this. I feel super confident in this. Yeah, I happily and frequently wear these dresses, which is why I have so many of them. I need to do a proper review on the 8577 as well, don't I? Because it's only tacked on to the end of the sew along, because I hadn't at that time I hadn't started doing separate reviews for patterns that I was making. I'm not saying that the red dress looks bad, but I don't think it's the nicest thing I've ever made, and I think I'd have to be in a really kind of specific mood to wear it, feeling super confident in myself. Yeah, again, that's, you know, we've discussed this before, clothing is meant to make you feel confident. It's the kind of like the extra layer of armour you put on, like makeup is. Like, I feel much more confident today because I have makeup on, and I've put that on because I want to film some proper videos. Yeah, I don't get me wrong, I think it's a beautiful dress, I really do. Maybe if I made it in an all over print I might feel differently about it, because again, like I say, the plain things are highlighting the things that I don't want them to, so yeah. Anyway, that was 6 minutes of waffle. So I will show you the dress later so you guys can sort of see what I'm talking about, and I think you'll notice as well that I feel way less comfortable in it. But first off, I am going to film my Savannah fabric haul and sewing plans, and it's going to be August, September and probably into October, because I mean, I have a lot of fabric. Let's see, there's up there, and there's a pile behind you as well. I have a lot of fabric to get through, so yeah. Anyway, I'm going to get started with that. It's I've come down quite early today. Yeah, it's not even 12 o'clock yet. I've come down quite early today to try and get as much filmed as possible. I am going to hopefully start hemming some of my dresses as well. I really want to hem my goldfish dress. I was going to try and get it all done today. I just don't think that's feasible, and I don't want to rush anything, and I don't want to mess anything up, so I'm going to do it when I get home. But yeah, anyway, that was 7 minutes of waffle and my battery's dying, so I'm gonna get on with filming some proper videos. This is a very pleasing but also daunting sight. I'm so excited to get started on this one. Lemons first though, lemons first. Lemons are there for when I come back.
3 hours later.
Here we go, as promised, the red dress. I mean, it's obviously kind of red, pink and green and purple and all the rest of the colours as well, but this is the predominantly red dress. So this is the 6130 bodice with the 9077 skirt. I think I have that right. I have mixed feelings about this, as I mentioned earlier this morning when I was waffling at you when I first came down here. I love this print. I love this print so much. I have made a Eve dress with this. I have a tiny scrap left over that I think I'm just going to be turning into bias binding. I got this from El Kilo in Lanzarote. I haven't seen it online anywhere else since, so I'm really sorry I can't list it. I know loads of you have asked me for it. I'm really sorry it was from Lanzarote. I doubt they have any more because we went quite a few years ago. It's a rayon, and once I'd cut my Eve dress out, I ended up with really long strips left at the sides because it was quite a wide fabric. So I didn't quite know what to make with it, but I wanted to try a colour blocked dress, and rather than make another Butterick 6380, I decided to try this combination. I like it. There is, before anybody says anything, there is more than enough room in here. This is not too tight. It is a little snug on the sleeves. I have clearly put weight on my arms, which is weird, but I suppose at least I'm putting weight on proportionally. But I think what I'm feeling about this dress, even though it fits, is that it is skimming and highlighting all of the bits that I am wanting to hide. And I have noticed that about all of my colour blocked dresses. The prints, the busy prints, hide a multitude of sins, whereas the solid parts of these dresses highlight the bits that I would prefer to hide. So I'm going to tip you down a little bit and show you what this looks like, and then you might see what I'm talking about as well. This skirt is from the 9077, and I think I have that number right. There will be a picture on screen if I don't. And it is fitted over the hips and then flares out massively from there. And I've made 2 of the shirt dresses that this skirt pattern comes from, and I love them. So I decided to try on this one, which, because I wanted a wider, fuller skirt than the 6380s that I've made, and I'm really pleased with how it's come out. Although, as I've mentioned, I think that the drapey solid coloured fabrics do kind of highlight the bit here that I don't necessarily want to look quite so prominent, and it's probably just because in my mind they're the bits that I'm most conscious about, so I immediately focus on those. And I'm sure as an overall look at this dress, it's not reading immediately like you can just see the podge, but because that's the bit I'm worried about, that's the bit I'm focusing on. The red is a viscose Americane from the fabric room, and I haven't lined this. I bought 5 meters of it. I ended up with a really big stain in the middle of the piece that I bought, so I've had to cut around that, and I've ended up, there's a few panels in the skirt that do have little bits of staining on them. It's not the end of the world. They kind of just look a bit darker red, so it's not really noticeable. Yeah, I only have 5 meters of this, so I haven't lined this skirt, and I kind of wish that I had, because it is a little bit sheer. I've got a black slip-on underneath this, and I think it's affecting the colour that you can see. I may, and I'm not ruling this out, I may buy a little bit more of this red and make a half circle skirt to put underneath it for a lining, although I'm not sure that that would work because of the fullness of the half circle skirt and then the fittedness of this. So that may not happen. I may just wear slips under this if I feel confident enough to wear this, and I think this is one of those dresses that I'm definitely going to need to feel confident in to put on, because I'm feeling very vulnerable again in this one at the moment. It does fit. As I mentioned, there's plenty of wearing ease in here. I'm going to tip you back up again. So as I mentioned this morning as well, I had loads of fun with this bias cut collar. I did have to completely take it off. I'd hand sewn it down, I'd machine stitched it down, hand sewn it down, and then had to completely take it off because I had got it slightly out of whack because it is cut on the bias. So I'd ended up with a piece kind of, I think you can probably see the pressing marks maybe you can see the pressing marks. I ended up with it a little bit twisted here and it wouldn't press flat like this, so I had to take it completely off, press everything completely flat, repress the crease into the fold here so that it does this. Again, like when I finished this last night and I tried it on, I hadn't sewn the waist seam down, which I have now done. I think it was one of those things where I was number 4 on the creative process. I was just like, oh no, this isn't good. Oh no. But now putting it on again, I think it's actually a lot better than I thought it was. I do like the collar at the back. There is gathering at these points here. I have changed the proportion of this as well, like when you look at the pattern, because I've done a sew along for the jumpsuit of this pattern. When you look at the pattern, they actually want you to put the extra length in the midriff panel here. I did that for my jumpsuit pattern, which hopefully I can put a picture up for you. It ended up with this bit being really small and then this bit being really big, and I think it threw the proportions out. So I've added length to this part, taken the length out of this part, and I think it looks a lot better. It's just, again, me feeling confident in myself to wear this. It's a really pretty dress. I am much more in love with it today than I was yesterday. I do think it's nice. I just will need to feel confident wearing it. The neckline of this is really wide, so I have put my bra straps kind of further over on my shoulders, but that's fine, they will stay there. I can wear them like that, it's not uncomfortable. But if I have my bra straps slightly more in, then they are visible, so that is something to bear in mind with this neckline. And as I mentioned, the sleeves, whilst there's room in the sleeves, there's definitely room in there. They are a little tighter than I remember them, but that's because I have put weight on proportionally all over my body, including my arms, clearly. I'm not displeased with this one. I haven't shown Mum and Dad yet. I'm going to go and show them in a second and see what they think, because they were a bit worried about this combination. They couldn't see my vision, and it'll be interesting to hear from them what they think about this one. 61309077 mashup. I love this skirt. I am not ruling out making this dress in a all over print with just the collar being in a solid. I think that would look really nice as well. I think I might feel more confident in it if it was an all over print, because it might just camouflage the areas that I'm worried about a little bit better. We shall see. I'm going to go show Mum and Dad this. I am going to start hemming my goldfish dress, which means I need to film that, so I need to charge my batteries because both of them are dying. Yeah, it's going to be hopefully a productive day. It's only about 2 o'clock in the afternoon, so I've got plenty of time to do other things, so I might just work through the hemming video and see how far I get. Yeah, we'll see. We shall see. Okay, so I'm back down here. I've just shown Mum and Dad, and Dad's not sure about the combination of print and colour, but he likes the shape and Mum loves it. They both say that I'm just being super paranoid about my stomach, which, I mean, I am. I get that. I totally am. If I hadn't have pointed out to you guys, I very much doubt any of you would have said, ooh, you have a little pod belly going on there. So yeah, I think it's just one of these things that it's my hang up. I need to work out how I'm going to deal with it and deal with it from there. So yes, but anyway, I wore my dressing gown down here today because I needed to iron my Savannah 8577 because it got washed. I wore this down here because the ironing board and iron, I prefer the ones down here than the ones that we've got in the main house. So I put it on again now because I'm going to start trying on my dresses that need hemming, and there are a lot of them. I kind of immediately want to go to my pinchy device, which you can just see here. I need to try the other different hemming types, and I need to go and ask Dad if he does actually have a laser level. Yeah, maybe that should be the next thing that I do. I think that's what I'm going to work on this afternoon. I'm going to stick some TV on and just kind of work through my dresses, and as I say, I think I'm going to start with the goldfish one. Oh, 7 dresses to hem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dresses to hem. It'll be fine, and it's going to make a really good video as well, so I'm going to get on and get something done.
12 seconds later.
Okay, I've completely changed my mind about what I'm going to do today. I have cut out and dropped my Bright Side of Life lemon fabric. I've got 8 strips for the skirt. I have a Grace bodice. I've also got a tiny little strip left that I'm going to sew together and see if I can make a hair tie out of. And I'm going to try and get it done, all of that done, before I go to London tomorrow. And I go 1 o'clock train, so I've got a little bit of time in the morning, but that's probably going to be spent getting up, packing, sorting Chi out, putting makeup on, showering, that kind of stuff. So yeah, let's see if I can make a dress. It's currently 4:20. Let's see if I can make a dress in an afternoon and evening. Wish me luck. Okay, it is 7:20. I have made a bodice, 2 scrunchies, 2 face coverings, what I'm hoping will be a nice hair tie, because that was all I had left of the fabric. Now I need to work on the skirt, which is going to be the lengthier part of this endeavour. So I've got 8 strips, and I'm going to do 1.5 for the first tier, 2.5 for the second tier, and then 4 for the final tier, like I did with my brassica dress. I really liked the distribution of fullness that I got from that distribution of the strips. Now these ones are slightly wider because this fabric is 140 wide and the brassica print was only 44 inches, and I'm sorry, I'm working in centimeters and inches at the same time, which is probably not remotely helpful, but I know quilting cottons are 44 inches wide and I know this is 140 centimeters wide, so sorry. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do next, is the skirt. So I need to cut one piece in half, then I need to piece it together with the other tiers, then I need to gather them all, sew them together, put the bias binding on, sew it onto the dress, put the zip in, finish the back seam, sew the lining down and hem it. So it's quite a tall ask. I'm not sure if I'm going to get all of it done this evening, but I am going to try my darndest. I have also eaten dinner. Mum made an amazing salad, so I have been very productive with my time, I think. But yes, wish me luck. Let's see if I can get this done.
One eternity later.
I did it! It is 11:30. This did take quite a long time. I expected it to. The bodice is really easy to put together, but all the gathering and then French seaming of the skirt does take a very long time. I still have 2 sets of gathering stitches to remove from the 2 tiers, but I did remove it from around the waistline because I wanted to get a good look at what it looked like, and it is gorgeous. I am so in love with this. I had 3 meters of this fabric. It was gifted to me at the Festival of Quilts by Sherwood Fabrics, and it's their new range. It's called Bright Side of Life, and they did ask me to make up something in time for you guys to get your hands on some of this for summer. I'm so glad that I did because it's absolutely gorgeous. I love this. I love this so much. I've got it on the white background as well, and I am tempted to make exactly the same dress. I'm not going to. I'm tempted to though. I think what I'm going to do with the white is make a shirt and a pleated and gathered skirt so that I have some separates, but I just love this, and this is so Dolce & Gabbana. So let me tip you down a little bit so I can show you what this looks like. Oh, it's lovely. I'm so pleased with it, and the skirt feels super giant. So I went for a 1.5 width on the first tier, 2.5 widths on the second tier, and then 4 widths on the bottom tier. I really like that distribution. This is slightly fuller on this tier than my hydrangea story dress, and I think I prefer this look. Don't get me wrong, I don't dislike my hydrangea story dress, and I am totally going to wear that. I just think that slightly more gathering at the waistline and over the hips is slightly more flattering to me because I am very large in this area. The other one just felt like it was, again, highlighting this area rather than disguising it, which I feel like this one is. Also, the dark colour and the overall print do make this sort of like very flattering, I think. Yeah, I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased. I have got a slip on with this, so if my straps are showing, it's because my slip is kind of out of control. Yeah, there it is. I'm gonna tuck it under there. This is again a very cleavage-tastic dress. It's the KB Grace dress. It was drafted with the intention of having a lace overlay over the top, so it wasn't ever meant to be quite this cleavage-tastic, but you know what? I've got nice boobs. I've said that to you before. You know this. But yeah, I am super happy with this. As I say, I made a long hair tie with the tiny little bit I had left. That still needs to be slip stitched closed, and then I need to, like I say, unpick the gathering stitches from the bottom of the 2 tiers. But it is quite late, and these are all things that I can do in other places, so I can go and sit with Chi for a little bit before I go to sleep and probably sit and unpick these stitches there, although she does have a tendency to eat thread, so maybe I should do it somewhere else. Let me just push this table slightly further over so we've got some more room. There we go, that's better, isn't it? You can see a little bit more, but oh, I'm so pleased with this. I am so pleased with this. Yeah, this is, I mean, I love this dress. Let me tip you back. There we go. So as you guys know, I'm a huge Dolce & Gabbana fan. Their aesthetic, not their practices as a company. We've been through this. I have learnt a lot more about them, and as I had mentioned before, I would not spend my money directly with them to benefit them in any way, but I do love their aesthetic, and this to me reads very Dolce & Gabbana. As you know, I'm going up to London tomorrow, so I think I shall be taking this with me for a date night. Wilson and I are going to be going out for dinner at least once to celebrate our 2-year anniversary, and I think this might be the dress that I wear because I love it. I'm really glad that I was sitting there this afternoon. I started this about half past three I started cutting this out. I'm glad that I decided to do it because I was going to start working, as you guys know, on hemming all of these, but I do want to do that as a video and I don't want to fluff it up, and I was worrying that I was going to rush it. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a quick easy project that is something that I love with a fabric that I want to make up really quickly. I'm glad that I decided that this was the right way to go because I'm so happy. I love it. I love it so much. I will have linked the fabric in the description down below. They have it on the lawn and also the cotton drill that they do, which is very tempting. As I've said, this was a gift, and so it's a press product basically for review. I think you can tell it's a glowing review. I really enjoyed working with this. It's their cotton lawn. It's been washed. It's come out really well. I think they've called it a slightly different thing. It's not the Marley cotton lawn, but I mean, it's a gorgeous fabric. I am biased, I'm a Sherwood's fan, you know that. I'm a Lady McElroy fan, so, you know, glowing reviews from me for this, but everything will be listed down below if you guys would like to get your hands on some. It's their new print for this summer. Oh, I'm so happy. So happy. So on that note, I am going to go back up to my room. I'm going to sit and unpick some of the threads from this. So I hope you've enjoyed the different bits and pieces I've been up to today. I've had a really good day. It's been a lot of fun doing all the things that I've done. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you all very soon. Bye!